Hello everybody, it's Red Panda Gamer here for another exciting episode of Play or Pass, the review show where I play a game for a little while and I tell you what I think of it. In today's very special episode, we're going to be talking a game I've been incredibly excited for about a year. For about as long as I've known about it, which is probably close to a year. This game, as many of you may or may not know, is called Ni No Kuni, Wrath of the White Witch. And unlike most of my episodes of the show, I actually have played quite a bit of it. Not too terribly much, probably like 4 hours, give or take. But in the comparative grand scheme of how long this game actually is, I have not played that long. This game, to get through the normal story mode, is more around 40 hours, and then if you take into consideration all of the... He's running away from me! What a puss. When you take into consideration all of... Where'd he go? I don't know. When you take into consideration all of the bonus, or not bonus stuff, but the additional... missions, side quests, that's what those things are called. The game is much longer than that, and there's actually a lot of secondary missions I like a lot. Not many that I've done. Oh, I'm sorry. Someone texted me. That's so unprofessional. This is the Golden Grove, Forest of Plenty. So this is gonna be a relatively long player pass, just because I want to show a lot of the game. Here we are, Golden Grove. Quick stroll through here and we'll be out of the other side and into desert in no time. Tidy. I don't like reading the dialogue because the voice acting is so good that I feel like my voice ruins it. Like, it doesn't do it justice. There is a fair amount of voice acting. I guess that's one small thing I could complain about with this game, is that, how do boys? Anyone about? There's not as much as I wish there was. Like, I honestly wish every single line in this game was voice acted. I do realize that that's an unbelievable amount, and it would also probably cost a lot of money. But unfortunately, I don't know. Like I said, there's just a lot of really good voice acting, and they make you really want there to be more good voice acting. So when there's not, it's kind of a disappointment. But that's kind of how I feel about Professor Layton as well. Interestingly enough, both games made by Level 5. Some of the best damn game developers out there, in my opinion anyway. But, you know, it's okay. When there is voice acting, though, it is really great, and it's some of the highlights of this game. Some things that most people probably already know about this game is it is a collaboration between Level 5 and one of the most popular animation studios out there. I'm sorry if I mispronounce it. I pronounce it Ghibli, but I think it might be Ghibli. I'm really sorry, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's Ghibli. I think it might be interchangeable. I apologize. But Studio Ghibli, who make probably some of the greatest animated films ever made. Actually, in my opinion, they did make the greatest animation films ever made. Maybe second to that of Pixar, but as far as like hand-drawn stuff goes, like, it blows everything that we grew up with, like, out of the water. Like, all the Disney... like I said, this is just my opinion, but I feel like they got such better movies than, like, Aladdin and just everything. I mean, and like I said, that's just me. Not to say that those movies that we grew up with were bad, but they're definitely not as good as, like, Studio Ghibli films made by Miyazaki. So this game takes the candid style and storytelling elements from Miyazaki's films, and really, it translates really well into a video game. And I know at one time they actually had a game, I'm almost positive Studio Ghibli's worked with a in-game development before. Not sure what the game was, probably because the game, whenever I saw the title, it was in Japanese. But this is the first time that I know of that a Studio Ghibli-based video game has ever been released in America. Unfortunately for everyone, this game is only available on the PlayStation 3, and was actually a big reason for me ever buying my PS3, besides most of the other... here, before I go to where we're supposed to go, I wanted to check out what was on this side. Unfortunately, anyone else... Oh, Piggy! Ziggy Piggy! Got him. Snuck up on his butt. That's how you gotta do it. So this game, what I was saying is it is unfortunate that no one else, people that don't have PlayStation 3 will not have the benefit of playing the game. Because it is really good. If you own a PS3, there's no reason for you to get this, except for maybe if you don't like JRPGs. But I don't know how you can't, because JRPG is an awesome genre. Now, this isn't like some JRPGs that are like I don't want to say horribly, but like ungodly amounts of like J-pop and like crazy insanity, and it's like really hard to understand a lot of the things that's going on because of the cultural gap. This game is, in my opinion, very, very. It's not like westernized RPGs. Oh, I can't go over there. Okay, it's definitely got the Japanese. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Definitely got the Japanese culture involved, but at the same time, it's not like, you know, a huge gap in understanding. Giant mushrooms are blocking the way, Mr. Drippy. What should we do? But I plan on playing probably through this whole area in this episode, so I want to make sure you guys get to see like a boss fight, an animated cutscene. The animated cutscenes are like the coolest part of this game because it's like legitimate Studio Ghibli animation, which is so beautiful. I also want to make sure you guys hear the voice acting because the voice acting is just awesome. So now I can actually talk about the combat a bit. In combat, you have your regular character, which in this game you play as Oliver, a boy who aspires to become a wizard because I mean, it's not really much of a spoiler because it happens in the very beginning of the game, but your mother dies, and it's not really your fault. Well, it's kind of your fault, but that's not really important right now. So your mother dies, and basically your doll, Mr. Drippy, who's the guy on the left right there helping you out, he basically tells you there is a way to get your mother back, that in both worlds there are, you know, there's versions of yourselves in both worlds. And in this world, your mother is a sage. So you're basically trying to find her and, I guess, bring her back. I don't really know. We haven't got to that point yet. Bring her back so that you can have your mother. And it's a really sad scene, and this game's got a lot of heart to it. What is this over here? Audioboymon. It's a blinking robot. That looks like it's going to be a fight at some point. Ooh, we obtained a set of beast fangs. That looks useful. So the story is good. We're basically in this alternate universe, or this alternate world, Mr. Drippy's world, where there's monsters and knights and kingdoms and kings and all that cool stuff. And in our character, he has mainly magic, which I think is interesting, because I can't think of another RPG where your main character is only a magic user. So I thought that was kind of cool in itself. And then you have, there are other party members you end up getting, and I've looked forward to my guidebook a little bit just to see kind of what happens. You do it, I think you get up to 3 party members at a time, but one of the other things you also get is all your party members also have familiars, which is what these creatures are that I've been using in my fights. Now, as I said, you can opt to fight alone, or you can opt to use your familiars. Now, sometimes familiars are better for fighting than you fighting yourself. Now that we're in the forest right now, it would be smart. Ooh, it's a spider.
We can do this.
The model, like the enemy models and everything, all the character models and all the enemy models are fantastic. I mean, like I said, Studio Ghibli at its finest. The world of Studio Ghibli just translates so well into the game. It's amazing to me that this is the first time this has ever happened. But it's definitely one of the most beautiful games I've played in recent years. I'm sorry, I keep wanting to explain the combat, because I think the combat in this game is really, really interesting. So you have familiars that can fight for you. However, they're not like Pokemon. Like, a lot of people have been comparing them to Pokemon. Not to say it's a bad comparison, because there are similarities, but it's much more. It's a much different experience in Pokemon. Like, you don't capture the familiars. You get them from either helping people, or you just end up finding. A lot of them are mission based, especially in the beginning. Like all the. Wait! I need to switch back to Oliver. And now in combat, you can actually switch and walk around, which allows you to avoid taking damage. See, like he misses. It's like that. So it's similar to that of like the Final Fantasy XII combat in the fact that it's it's like free roaming and you can move around. But unlike Final Fantasy, where it's like even if you're standing like 10 feet away, you could still get hit by a sword. In this game, you can actually avoid being hit, which is one of the reasons that Oliver is such a good character to play as, is because you can kind of like run away from people and use your magic real quick. But then like a lot of your familiars use melee combat. The other cool thing about melee your familiars in this game is they all have their own separate levels and all their own separate moves and equipment. I'll actually go ahead and show that right now. If you go here, friends and familiars, and your friends would be party members, you can actually go there and you can see they have different. They have a weapon, a shield, and a ring. And then this guy's got similar stuff going on here. So they all have their own stats. And then you, of course, have your own stats and things you can hold. Oh, I didn't even realize I had a ring. What does this do? The knife-like fangs of this ferocious wolf. They are very sharp and excel at finding enemy weak points. Well, we don't even want to bother giving this to Oliver because he uses magic. We'd be better off giving it to... Oh, these use patches. That's right. We can give this to him, though. It's pretty cool. So yeah, they all have their own stats, and you can have up to 3 at a time. The cool thing about this game is, unlike Pokemon or most games, like Monster Hunter, Dragon Quest or Dragon Warriors, I can't think of which one it is, but it's the one where you can have like monsters in your party. Like after the fight, I think it's Dragon Quest or Dragon Warrior, whichever it's called in America. That game, like where you can befriend these monsters. In this game, instead, even if you don't fight, like, and you've seen this at the end of every fight, I'm gonna go ahead and just stick with Oliver because we're dealing with plants, and I can use magic. Now, during the fights, you can obviously switch. You can push L1 and switch to people from the top. Now, as I said, they all share HP and magic power, but in this game, they... so that's not like you can just use your... But I'm sorry. Since they do use your HP, obviously you have to they had to come up with a way so you don't just use your familiars throughout the entire fight. So your familiars can actually run out of stamina, and the idea is that you get into some of these fights that last a lot longer, like boss fights, or mini-boss fights, or whatever you want to say. And during those mini-bosses, you have to switch between familiars, or switch from familiars back to Oliver. But sometimes some familiars are stronger against some enemies, so you may need to switch back and forth between them to make sure you're always getting these enemies' weak points. And I think that's really cool, that idea. Like, they make familiars necessary to use. And the nice thing is, you don't end up at a point where, you know, your familiars are... where you have some familiars that are really, really strong. Like, that's how, like, Pokemon is. Like, in Pokemon, you'll have, like, your starting Pokemon who end up being super weak because you just never use them, or you use some more than others. In this game, whenever you have 3 in your party, like, anything you have in your party all gain equal amounts of experience. So, you gain 30 experience, you don't gain, like, splits of 10 for each of them, or only the 30 only goes to whatever familiar you use. All of your characters get the same amount of experience, which some people... There's no jumping on that mushroom. We'll have to look for another way around. So some people may not like that as much. I mean, I guess it is kind of an easier idea, like an easier setup than most JRPGs have that use that, like, that don't use the experience share model. But I personally like it a lot better because it takes a lot of the pressure off of, like, oh, I need to make sure I use... You know, I need to make sure I use Mighty in this fight, or I need to make sure I use Lamal in this fight. Instead, it just lets you freely use whoever you want. And more than likely, you end up using them all because, especially in like bigger fights, where you have to switch constantly. So you can see there's that meter on the character in the top left, and it's just scrolling down slowly. This game, I mean, a lot of these fights it is just button mashing because it's just simple fights, and some of my characters are not over-leveled completely, but I did grind up a little bit extra than I needed to. Can we not climb up here too? Oh, God! So my characters are a lot stronger than usual, but when you get into some... Oh, is he coming after me? Yeah. When you get into later fights, it really does become... The game becomes much more strategic. Like, you have a defend ability, and you can see it said nice like that, and what that really is, it's an emphasis on having good timing with your attacks, because sometimes you can interrupt people's attacks with your own attack, or you can kill them fast enough they can't use a really strong attack on you. But when we get into these boss fights later, they don't just telegraph their attacks. But, like, the last boss I fought was a giant rat, and he used a move called, like, Rat Fire or something like that, where he shot a fireball at you. So it would say Rat Fire, and he'd charge up his attack, and what you're supposed to do is cancel pretty much whatever you're doing at the moment and use Defend, the Defend command. And then by doing that, of course, you defend yourself from taking huge damage, and you're complimented by the game for that. And you also oftentimes get, like, a health boost or a magic boost, like those little orbs that I've been getting on the ground. The orbs kind of remind me a lot of Kingdom Hearts. We can do this! Because when you fight enemies in Kingdom Hearts, you get those orbs that gave you HP. So moves like that, those are like special moves, and if you somehow manage to kill them before they use them, or just interrupt them, or defend before they use them, they'll give you the nice ranking, and it'll do very little damage. So, like I said, in this fight, it's pretty much just button mashing, because it's just very simple, small enemy killing. But as you get farther, it definitely becomes more strategic, and you can't just, like, the game I always think of as far as, like, not paying attention, I always think of, like, Final Fantasy X, or, like, older Final Fantasy games, like, before, like, time action commands, or Pokemon. Pokemon's another really great example. Those are games where you can just button mash, or you can, like, walk away for, like, 10 minutes and then be like, oh yeah, I'm in the middle of this fight. This game's not like that at all. Now, obviously, you can pause, but in this game, you really have to pay attention to what you're doing. So it looks like we're going to get a cutscene coming up here when we look at this tree, maybe? Maybe? Yeah. Nope, jeepers, what is that? Tidy, it's a familiar egg. A familiar egg? But did you tell me that familiars come from people's hearts? That they do, my lad, but not only from there. Familiars can be born wherever there's plenty of what you might call life force. See? The sky, the sea, the forest, the field, it doesn't matter where it is, Ollie boy. When enough life force builds up, out they pop. In fact, they can even be born from everyday objects if they are used long enough. And ooh, that's cool, I didn't know that. Wow, life force sure sounds powerful. So this egg is made from life force building up here in the forest, huh? There's quick you are. Life force is mysterious and potent energy filled with wonder. But the results ain't always so magical. Sometimes instead of friendly familiars, wild and vicious beasties are born instead. You mean the creatures that are always attacking us? The very same, and the only way to teach them not to go around attacking people is to fight back, ain't it? Don't look so worried, man. We don't kill the poorer things. We just send them somewhere where they can't bother us for a while. Okay. I wonder what kind of creatures will come out of this egg. I can't wait to see it hatch. Well, you'll be waiting a while, Lolly boy. Look at these bits of tree around the edge of it. All withered they are. Seems like the forest life force has taken a turn for the sparse. That must be why the fairies have all cleared out too, eh? Sorry, but if things stay the way they are, or as they are, this egg ain't hatching anytime soon. Gee, that's so sad. There must be something. By the way, Oliver is a boy. When I first saw screenshots of this game, I'm like, oh, okay, he plays a girl. Like, I had no problem with that. But then when I actually played the game, I'm like, oh, okay. Sure, Mr. Drippy, let me see. A spell that can restore the withered branches to how they used to be. Alright, so now we need to restore this tree. So now we have a lot of magic, as I said. And these are all the different magics we can use. Most of these ones on this page are, it says everyday spells. So like we can open a gateway that transports the caster between worlds. So it basically lets us go to our world, like where Oliver's from. Take heart and give heart. That's something I'll get into later probably. Spring lock is like lock picking. Form of familiar. So this is, a lot of these are like cutscenes basically, where you use them only at specific times. But let's try and use, I guess we can. Oh, Ollie boy, you got a spell, turns back time and stuff, in it? Oh, we do? Rejuvenate? Oh, okay, cool. Ooh, rewinds time for an object. That's kind of cool. So you have a lot of these magic spells that are basically for actual story use and don't use magic power. Tidy! Look, Ollie boy, it's hatching. Witness the miracle of new life. Just so you know, most of the characters are British. Mr. Drippy is, I don't know if it's Irish or Scottish, so I'm not going to say. Neato, it hatched. We did it, Mr. Drippy. Oh, this thing's cute. Oh, there's beautiful. There's nothing like a good hatching to get a welling up. Hee stop it. It tickles. I think he likes you. Haha, he's cute. It's freaking adorable. Okay, little one, we have to go now. Enjoy your life here in the forest, won't you? Eh? You ain't taking him with you, Ollie boy. He only just hatched, Mr. Drippy. I can't let him come with us. It's too dangerous. Yeah, you've got a point, I suppose. Fair enough. Righto, Littly. Looks like, look after yourself, eh? Bye for now. Goodbye now, and take care. Oh no, I want to take him. Goo? Man. I really wanted to take him. That's okay. I wonder if we like come back later for him or if it follows us out. So I don't remember what I was saying about the game now. I apologize. Oh, I guess I was talking about the characters being British and him being Scottish or Irish. I feel bad because I don't know the difference between those. I mean, I know that one's from Scotland, one's from Ireland, but I don't know like the way people talk wise. And I could just be making a total idiot out of myself, so I'm totally gonna stop talking. So a lot of people complain. I've heard people like that's the thing. I've heard people complain about the way the battle engine works. Like I was reading the Game Informer review, and they only gave this game a 7. They're saying, oh, you can't avoid fights, and they're so difficult. That's the thing. This game isn't, like I said, this game isn't super easy because they actually have you be involved in the battle process, which I like. Like that's why I love like games like Paper Mario and Super Mario RPG and Mario and Luigi, because I like that they add some interactivity in the battles. Like you can jump, you can avoid attacks, or you can make attacks more powerful by pushing A or B at the right moment. And I love that in those games. This game doesn't necessarily have that. It's not like pushing A right and an attack is going to make them like attack more powerfully. But the fact that you have to look out for what kind of attacks people are doing, be smart about what kind of familiar you're using, stuff like that. I really like that. Also, yeah, there are buffers in this game. Oh, damn. Also, nice is like critical hits, so that's what that is. Can't do that yet. What did I not do? I don't know what that was saying. Maybe he was trying to do something that I actually can't do in the game yet. See, like I said, I am still in the early game of this. Like, this game gets not more complicated, but much more involved. Like, once you start getting more party members, like, you end up with party members that also have familiars. So there's a lot more management at that point. I'm going to go ahead and use my healing magic real quick, because I'm not using any magic right now. So I also have items I can use, like food, but I'm not using those right now. Hey, it came back. I knew it would. Well, look who it is. It's the Littley from before. How do you know? Did he follow us? Probably. Looks like he wants us to follow him now. Is there something he wants to show us? I wonder. Also, I love the camera in this game. The camera works really well. I can't right now because we're like kind of stuck in this linear path during this cutscene. But like the camera, the free camera, it's really smooth, and like there's so many cool like visual things you can have happen. See, look at that, Game Informer. I totally just avoided that fight, even though I try not to avoid fights because you don't want to be underleveled in this game, ever. You can also sneak up on enemies and get a free hit. I think I did that once more towards the beginning of this game. The enemies are adorable. I mean, there's some enemies that are like freaky, like the big bosses are like almost terrifying. But God, the whole world, like, and its enemies and its characters are just adorable. Oh, nope. The other thing that's cool, like something I always like in games like this is like they let you know when you're not strong enough. Like if you go into an area where you're not supposed to be yet, you'll run into enemies who are like almost one-shotting you every time. So there's a cool learning curve. Now this game does have a pretty big open world, but I mean you can't necessarily just go wherever you want. But yeah, this game is beautiful. I love it so much. Like I've been excited for this game so long, and then I read the Game Informer review. I'm like, oh my god, this game isn't gonna be as good as I thought it would be. And then I read IGN's review, which they gave it like a 9.3 or something like that. I'm like, oh my god, like that's insane. Of course, it does. Plonker, page from the Wizard's Companion, and its finders keepers around these parts. That's the law of Zhejiang, or Forest. You know what I mean. Just grab it. Neato. Quicken growth. Okay, so I'm assuming we have to use this on those mushrooms. Thanks for showing us the way. What's that? He's saying he reckons he could be useful to you, Ollie boy. Want to tag along on our journey? He does. But he's just a kid. It's too dangerous. Ha, cheeky little so-so. Little so-and-so. Look who's talking, he says. He means you're just a kid yourself, ain't it? And he got a point. He really said that? But don't fret, Ollie boy. Creatures like him are born to be familiars, and traveling around with wizards like yourself is what familiars do, ain't it? Gee, I guess. Okay, you come with me. You better give the little fellow a name then. They'll steal the deal, or seal the deal. Ha! Steal the deal. Alright, so his name is Sid, but I'm actually going to change it to a good friend of mine. Plus, I think this sounds like a cooler name anyway. I don't really keep the names. I'm going to name him Sneak, because he's being a little sneaky devil, and I sneak sometimes as a good friend of mine. Who knew that TJ was such an adorable little thing? Oh god. See, like, you can do some cool angle stuff, like cinematography, like, cinematically, like, this looks kind of cool, doesn't it? It's one of the reasons I like Xenoblade Chronicles so much. Evade, is that some kind of trick? Yeah, I suppose you call it that. It's like defending, only you don't take any damage. The only thing is, it's proper quick, so you have to be a bit nifty with your timing. But the other... okay. So basically, we're learning how to move out of the way of attacks. And it, like I said, it involves timing again. Like, as I said, with blocking, you kind of have more... You have more time to, like, block. Like, they'll announce their attack, and you'll, like, block until they do their attack, basically. Not necessarily. Like, there is a clock that runs down till your action ends, just like with attacking. But normally, by the time you start your defense, like, when they start their attack, then you start your defense, it's almost always, like, it takes them longer to do their attack than for you to do your defense. I don't know exactly how to explain it.
Let's go!
These pom-pom enemies are so silly looking. I'm not going to use my new... Oh, damn. He's getting a lot of critical hits. I'm not going to use my new familiar yet because it's really under-leveled. That's typically the way you do this. And as I said, everyone gains the same amount of HP, so there's no reason for me to use her right now. Or everyone borrows from the same HP, but she's got really low defense. Or he. I keep saying she because it looks like a girly. See, like, she's gonna level up, like... So, like, basically what I compare this to, or, like, how glad I am that the game is like this, I often have Earthbound in mind, because Earthbound, you know, when you got a new party member when you first started, like, when you first get, like, Jeff at, like, not the mid... Yeah, about the midpoint. No, because you get all the characters, and then you're at about the midpoint of the game. When you get Jeff at about, like, I don't know, a quarter through the game, he's, you know, everyone starts at level 1. So all your other characters are super strong, and that game has some really unforgiving enemies. So you have to, like, kind of be really careful and make sure they don't get hit. But in this game, it allows you to, you know, it doesn't matter what level they're at. And instead, they level up, like, super fast in this game, which you just saw, like, skip from level 1 to 3, and this time she's probably going to skip up to level 5. Which is, oh, no. I was going to make a stupid pun. It is going to be the fact that level 5 developed the game. Alright, so let's go. I'm assuming we can use this growth move now on these mushrooms that we couldn't jump on earlier, but I could be wrong. So you can sneak up on enemies, but oftentimes it can, depending on the enemy, it can be a little difficult to sneak up on them. I'm trying to think of other things to say about the combat system. As I said, you can play just as Oliver by picking him. And, alright, I don't want to get hit by any of these guys, but we'll wait till they attack so we can avoid it. Haha! See, so, like, I can bait them into attacking. But if you get too close, they can't attack. Plus, there are enemies that do magic attacks. Ah, damn. See, like, I totally got hit there. And Oliver's defense isn't really that high. What did I want to use? Oh, yeah, I want to use magic. Ooh, we should get that health orb. Yeah, see, like, you just use... Oh, damn, he totally just... Alright, let's definitely kill these guys. I just got this new magic earlier, so I want to see... Oh, damn, that's pretty strong. Oliver is crap for special defense. Oh, I wanted to see, how do I... You know what, I'm not going to worry about it right now because I don't want this guy to use magic again on me. I want to know how... Because they said I can dodge attacks now, and I want to know how to do it. Let's go ahead and use one of our familiars. The familiar combat is really, like, where the game really shines. Like, it's a lot of fun fighting with familiars, or as familiars, I should say. Typically, you fight as Oliver against... Or, fight as Oliver against bosses, or when you need magic. But I find, like, with the 3 bosses I've fought so far in the game, I've always used Oliver for the most part. Because you can kind of bait their attack and dodge it, and it's just easier that way, in my opinion. But then when you get into a lot of these fights with multiple characters, since his magic takes so long to use, and you really don't have that much magic power at this point in the game, it's best just to use, like, Mighty, who has, like, really high attack power, and a sword. The familiar, and also, by the way, the camera moves in full 360 during the fights, too. So that was pretty cool. Or not full, yeah, full 360, but it doesn't let you go, like, up or down. But I absolutely love... I'm a big fan of, like, RPGs, but unfortunately, like, there really haven't been that many good RPGs out there lately. I mean, I just started playing Persona 4 because everyone always told me how amazing of a game it was. And, like, I didn't really grow... I mean, I had a PS2 growing up, but I didn't use it as much as I used, like, my GameCube and stuff like that. But I always liked RPGs growing up. Like, Super Mario RPG to this day is still, like, my #1 game of all time. But then, you know, when I got older, I started getting much more into RPGs. Like, Final Fantasy X was the first Final Fantasy I, like, truly, honestly played. Like, that was, like, my first real RPG experience where I was just like, oh my god, like, this is so awesome. And I like, would play for, like, 10 hours a day and stuff like that. And, you know, there was a couple other games like that, like Dragon Quest 8? Is it Dragon Quest 8 or 9? I don't remember which one. It was whichever one was on the PS... It was one on the PS2 that had, like, really good graphics. I don't remember which one it was, though, at the moment. I'm sorry. Like, games like that, and then I played, like, Final Fantasy 12. I beat Final Fantasy 12. I actually liked it personally. And then I also played, like, Chrono Trigger for the first time ever. And that's when I really started getting into RPGs again. And then all of a sudden, there was no good RPGs out there, and there was nothing to play, and kind of just lost interest in the genre. And then I heard about this game, or then I started playing Persona 4, and Persona 4 is cool, but I mean, this is just my personal opinion. Like, I love the game. I think it's a cool game. I think the story is interesting, but that's one of the games that's much more culturally Japan, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I don't think there's anything wrong with the culture of Japan. For whatever reason, though, it just doesn't translate well for me, and, like, it feels weird that, like, it's very obviously a Japanese-developed game with Japanese things in mind, and then it just seems weird translated into English. Like, it seems unnatural. Almost like when you watch anime. Some animes when they're translated into English, or dubbed into English, I should say. But like I said, I'm not trying to say anything bad about it because Persona 4 is a great game. But this was really the first RPG that I've really, really been excited for since like playing RPGs when I was younger. And I gotta say, like, my expectations are just blown away. Like, the overworld map is awesome. Like, it's so cool to have an RPG with an overworld again, like an overworld map. And it's so cool to have, like, this combat system. And I love this combat. Like, as far as I've played, like, I've never played an RPG that had a combat system quite like this. Like, it's got some elements of, like, the action RPG where it still lets you be interactive with what you do, and it lets you free move around at some points. And the Familiars combat is really, really cool. And like I said, I really just don't like... So many journalists are comparing it to a Pokemon, and they're literally calling the Familiars Pokemon, which I just think is totally unfair because it's so much more than that. So we can go ahead and go to our magic menu again, and we can use Quicken Growth, I think. Pretty sure that's what they want us to do. Unfortunately, it does use magic power, but it's almost impossible to not get a hold of items that give you magic power, or picking up magic power orbs in the middle of the fight. I have yet to have an issue, really, where I run out of magic power, especially because, you know, 2 of my Familiars used mainly physical attack, so... But like I said, that's pretty much what Oliver is for magic. These guys look like Goombas. Don't they kind of look like Goombas? They look like Studio Ghibli universe Goombas. I would not be surprised if that's actually what they were supposed to be. And I don't know, man. It could be. You know, I love this game so much. I love the combat. I love the idea behind it. I could go on and on. I've been enjoying this game so much. And there's like a lot of like small aesthetic things, like beyond the graphics, that are really interesting. Like something I noticed, and I don't know if I'll even get a chance to go back to like Oliver's world, like where his family is, or well, where his mom was, like where like his world, which is our world. One of the interesting things about it is your camera doesn't work in full range mode. Like, it's a fixed camera angle, right? Now, obviously, that's not that big a deal. And actually, the fixed camera angle works incredibly well. It's very smooth, and it moves along with you very well. Unlike Resident Evil, but those are older games, so I can't really penalize them too much. It's very smooth and interesting, and I was a little disappointed. I'm like, oh, there's no free camera in this game? Like, that seems weird. You'd think, you know, if there's a universe made by Studio Ghibli, they'd want to show it off. And what's interesting is when you go from your world to this world, in this world you do have a free moving camera, which to most people that might not seem like that big of a deal, but aesthetically that's really interesting. It's like, oh, you know, it's our dull world where, you know, you just see what you see and there's nothing more to it than that. And then you go to this like magic world where, you know, anything can happen and anything is possible, and it's like, oh man, it's all so beautiful. Oh, I can't do anything with that. You know, it's a small random element that I just think is really cool. So I'm assuming since there's a save block right here, and it also recharges your HP and magic power, I'm assuming we're about to fight a boss. Let me just check our level real quick, if we're even close to leveling up, which I don't believe we are. Where can I look at that again? Yeah, no one. I mean, he's close to leveling up, but there's really no reason for us to use him because he's still too lower leveled. Let's see. Do we have any more tricks we can use? Because we're using Sandblast, but I don't really ever use it. Pent up energy. We could actually. I think we could trade Cut Loose for that. Oh no, because that damages all enemies. All right, we'll just keep what we have right now. I don't believe he can learn any new tricks. Yeah. And then, oh wait, can Oliver learn new tricks? No, that's right. You basically just get whatever magic you know. And then, oh, I wanted to show you, there's something called the Creature Cage, which this is another thing where the creatures are pretty cool. You basically pick up food while you play, and you can actually feed it to them, and it randomly increases one of their areas. So like as you see there, that one just increased his attack a little bit, and that one just brought up his magic defense to a whole nother level. Now, it's not always the same. Like, this pie isn't going to bring up his magic defense again. It's random every single time you use it, which I think is kind of interesting. But you also have a fullness meter, as you can see. So if you can only use these food items so many times per, like, feeding session, if you will. I probably should have gone ahead and given him some as well. Lemel. That's fine. But I'm also pretty sure that goes into your own provisions. Let's see. Nope. So you have that's kind of cool then. So you have provisions for yourself, and then you have like treats for your familiars, which I think is interesting. They don't make you decide between, oh, am I gonna give my familiars treats or am I gonna use my own? Like, am I gonna use it for myself? I really like the layout of the menu. There's also a lot of like, I'm just kind of trying to show some more of this stuff before we do the boss fight. There's some cool stuff like here, like there's life lessons. So these are all the tutorials, because there's a lot of stuff in this game, and it's kind of funny because the way they explain it to you as if you should get this. And Oliver continuously is like, I don't get it, because a lot of times the way they explain it is a little hard to understand, which is on purpose, I believe, personally. So they give you these chapters and areas where you can read up on it again. You can also go ahead and look at a lot of the enemies you've ran into, which I think is kind of cool. You can look at the different kind of moves they use. You can have it perform different actions. So it's like a bestiary, basically. Which I love bestiaries and RPGs. I love. Oh, this is the one of the bosses in the game. This was the other boss, Hickory Dock. He was a jerk. Guardian of the Woods was badass. Dangerous places. So this kind of shows different areas we've been to in the woods, and then our progress in the game. We're not even close. Like we don't even have all the areas open. And then we also have a journal that shows us more about the news. And it also, like, as I said, there's a lot of side quests in the game. So let's see. I think this... there is some... These are basically all the things we've done in the game. Oh, here we go. Wait, where's... Yeah, these are the... you get stamps in the game for doing things for people. Stamp card. It actually reminds me a lot of the Bomber's Notebook. So as we do more side quests, we get more stamps on our merit card. And as we do more, we get different items. So I thought that was, or we get cards. Basically, we get to keep the cards we fill out, but we have to bring them to someone. And as we fill out these cards, we can redeem them for different items. So I thought that was pretty cool. And they're optional too. Like it's not like if you don't do them, you're at a huge disadvantage. But you won't be getting like a specific item that's really good or something that will benefit you. Like one of the jumping jack item said, it allows you to sneak past enemies easier. So you don't have to necessarily do the side quests to get those items, but they definitely make it worth your while. Plus, most of the side quests are pretty original and interesting. Look, Mr. Drippy, it's a fountain, but it's all dried up. Dearie. This ain't too pretty, is it? But we know how to deal with the situation. At least we do. Well, this is the spring of life, ain't it? It's what put the plenty in the forest of plenty. The reason the fairies have scarped. I'm sorry, sometimes this dialogue's a little hard to read. Of all the low moves, who would do something like this? Proper despicable. It is. Uh-oh. What's wrong, Mr. Drippy? I've got a feeling in my lantern that the culprit is about to appear. He is? I don't see him. See, like during these cutscenes, I love that you have like full range of the camera, so you can kind of like take in your scenario, or not your scenario. So a little bit of the fourth wall break in there.
See?
Whoa!
Oh, jeepers!
Gladiator, Guardian of Golden Grove. These, oh my god, I these bosses are freaking awesome. I love them. Alright, so now we gotta fight this guy. We'll start out, I guess, using one of our familiars, just because he's so much stronger. Go get him! The only problem is, well, you know, this will work for a little while, then we'll go ahead and switch in a minute. Oh god, alright, so he's doing a big move right here. Defend! Cool. So as I said, you know, you get complimented when you, oh damn, I should have just kept blocking. You get complimented when you do something smart like that, and then you also get orbs, which I want to go get. See, so I was able to dodge that attack, like Dark Souls style, you know? Oh. So this guy's got a lot more special moves than other people we fought in the past. Unfortunately, when, oh god, okay, so his stamina's going down, so I went ahead and switched there real quick. So I'm going to try and fight long range against this guy, which may be easier. Let's see, they'll start to run at you. But we use Frostbite. Oh god. Oh, I interrupted him, cool. Oh no, I didn't, okay, he just, that move isn't the homing move like his other one. Run away! See, I mean, right now it seems like it's cheap, like, oh, you're just running away from everything he does. But that's kind of how you... Oh, nope, did not want to... You don't want to attack with Oliver's normal attack, which is basically just, like, punching them with his wand. So, okay, defend! So this is the smart way to play. But like I said, when you start playing with, like, 3 characters who each have their own familiars, it can become a bit more difficult. So we're going to go ahead and switch to Mighty again. Do some more attacks. See, you get some moves like enemies have moves like that where they basically interrupt everything you're doing. I could have just avoided this altogether, but might as well defend while I can. As you saw right there, he had a move that basically like incapacitates us. And I'm sure as the game goes on, we will end up with moves that do things very similar to that. So let's go ahead and use Cut Loose real quick before we have to switch back. So Cut Loose is one of his more special attacks that does more damage. Not very much. Well, actually, you know what? What makes that move good is the... Oh, God, I need to switch. Let's go ahead and switch to Lamar. Oh, God, oh, God, oh, God, no. So, see, that move is actually pretty easy to dodge. Oh, God, what's he doing? Oh, my God! We're in trouble now. Alright, so I'm actually going to switch back to Oliver because of his ability to do ranged combat. But he's also probably going to be a lot faster than he was earlier. But we should be okay. Got these orbs over here. So yeah, these fights are meant to take a while, which is like true JRPG style. I mean, we only have them down like not even half health yet, so... Oh god, I didn't mean to do that. No, it's fine, let's fight with him. I actually wanted to heal. Oh wow, I didn't realize how much damage. We should switch back so we can heal real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and use a provision real quick just so we can keep using magic. Sandwich! Let's see. Also, we drink iced coffee in this game, which, I don't know, like, whenever I play video games that allow you to drink iced coffee, I think that's, like, the coolest thing ever. Because, personally, that is my choice of drink in real life, is iced coffee. I think it's the most delicious thing ever. So when my video game characters can also drink iced coffee, I think it is pretty swell. Going ahead and just keep using some of this ice magic here, baiting his attacks. Plus, I'm pretty sure when we get farther in the game, like when we do these boss fights, there's more bosses to fight. What the hell? I've got a bad feeling about this Ollie boy. It looks like he's about to go flippin' ballistic. Put your guard up and one. Okay. I mean, see, like, they tell you now in the game, but... Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, no! See, like I said, like, just because you use your defense, it's not necessarily the proper timing. But we're pretty high leveled right now, so we're okay. So let's just bait his attack. Jason bait his attack. Jason bait his attack. Alright, so he's probably going to use it again, but if he does, we have to time this a little bit better. There we go. That should be good, right? Yeah, it still did a lot of damage, though. So I know we have the ability... Ooh, I know! Hold on a second, Ollie boy. Hey, he's giving us a shield. So our character... Drippy doesn't always help us in fights. Because he's a big bully. I get it. He's a bull. It's fine. Tiny, now's your chance, man. Alright, so when we get chance, it basically is just a free attack. At least I think. I don't know. Like, I keep expecting there to be, like, some big thing you're supposed to be able to do once that happens. Like, there's these orbs that will fall down at some point in the fights, where you basically could do, like, a really special attack with no cost of magic power. God, I'm getting... Go ahead and use this again. Use your attack! Thank you. Thank you for the compliment, game. See, I always love in games when they're like, oh, I think this is going to be last hit. Yeah! So, I mean, that fight didn't take that long, but I know that when you get later, like, when you get to later parts in the game, the fights start taking, like, a long time to get through. And you really gotta, like, watch your items, and you gotta switch between familiars often. I mean, this is still the early game, so they're gonna take it easy on us. Actually, the rat boss was a bit harder than that one was, because you have that, you know, I was fighting this guy in a pretty big open area. The previous boss wasn't a very big open area. You obtained a page describing Gladiator. That's such a cool name. Alright, so we took down the Guardian. I don't know which Guardian I liked more. I like them both. Thank goodness that horrible creature is gone. That wasn't just any old creature, Ollie boy. That was the guardian of this here forest. Guardian? You mean like the guardian of the woods? That I do. It's like I said, ain't it? Life force can make things pop up all over the place. And in this place, or in places like this forest, the desire of the inhabitants to protect their home gives birth to massive guardian beasties, see? Beasties like the one you fought over in the deep dark wood, and the lad we just met. I don't know if you noticed, but his eyes were proper funny. Do you think? Shadar? Shadar is basically Voldemort of this universe. Like, they refer to him as he who shall not be named and stuff, which I thought was kind of interesting. But he's basically this really dark entity that, like, steals people's hearts and, like, ruins their enthusiasm. Like, enthusiasm is a big part in this game, where you basically give them... Oh, see, what did that just say? Oh, no, it's a restore. Basically, you take enthusiasm from over-enthusiastic people, and you give it to people who are sad and less enthusiastic. And it's basically something you do when, is this what I'm supposed to do? Oh, no, rejuvenate, sorry. As I said, most of, like, the really important magics you have to use, like, in-game, they don't actually cost you any magic power. So we fixed up this area nice and good. So it's kind of got like that Kingdom Hearts thing going where it's like people lose their hearts and you have to like give them back. But instead of becoming evil or becoming heartless or whatever, they, what am I trying to say? Oh, they just become depressed and like aloof, like very aloof. Like there's this king cat that is missing your Meowjesty as they call him. He gets his heart stolen, so he's all depressed and he just won't do anything. You've obtained a new tale of wonder. So there's a lot of these quote-unquote tales of wonder and like book pages and enemy bios like the one we got for fighting the gladiator. And basically those I'll give you a lot more background information for the game. Right then, Ollie boy, I reckon there's some proper nasty monsters around by here. Don't try to be a hard man and take them all on, just hurry and get back to Almoon. Alright, so back to the overworld, which I love, by the way. So we can, it's not that difficult to avoid enemies on the overworld. I mean, there are some enemies that like you really have no choice, like you'll have to run into them or they'll see you from far away, like this one right here. But most of the time, like enemies like that, they just like run right at you, and if they miss, they miss. So now we're going into the desert. Is this an enemy right here? Yeah, it is. It was just like standing there, I'm like, hello? I really want to be able to show you guys... Ooh, Bonehead looks cool.
Come on!
Like, I love when you fight these enemies for the first time. It's always such a cool experience. Like, oh man, these enemies look awesome. Oh my god, they did a lot of damage. Oh god, oh god, oh god. No shit! We just died. See, when, as I said, the familiars use our own health. So, it's not like if the familiar dies, we die. We are technically the familiars. So we can either continue or return to title screen. Unfortunately, when you continue, you lose 10% of your money. Or if you have like a really low amount, you lose all of it. It's whatever. I mean, it's a penalty for getting a game over, you know? Like, they have to penalize you in some way, shape, or form. So, oh, I should probably... Except I think they healed... Yeah. So they heal you, at least. Like, not only do you lose your money, but you do still have to heal yourself. Can we avoid this enemy, please? Thank you. That's the only reason I lost that fight, by the way. I mean, yes, they were higher leveled enemies because they're new enemies, but at the same time, I had like 20 HP or something like that. So we'll try that again, shall we? Is this that same enemy? But we snuck up on him this time. Basically, when you sneak behind an enemy, you get the first strike. But I think I already explained that earlier.
We can do this!
Yeah, the Bonehead enemy looks cool. Honestly, like I said, the character models in this game are fantastic. Right now, I think my favorite thing I've seen, other than the Guardians, because I do think the Guardians look really, really cool, I really like how Mighty looks. I like how he's got his little cape, and I just love the way he looks here. Like, look at him, he's just a little adorable guy. He's got, like, overalls and a cape. I don't know, man. I love it. I love it so dang much. We got chocolate! But I love it. I mean, I don't feel like I even need to say whether I say play or pass on this game. I feel like it should be pretty obvious. But if you guys really want like a definitive recommendation, if you own a PS3, you're a fan of Studio Ghibli, or you like JRPGs, there's absolutely no reason why you should not buy this game. It really is that good, in my opinion. I mean, I've been saying that, like, oh, this is probably one of my favorite RPGs of all time, but I'll be honest, like, I'm not that far in the game. So for me to... Oh, geez, I should have tried to defend that. I have to watch out for that move again. For me to say that, I guess it's a little ridiculous and maybe even a little biased just because I love the Studio Ghibli art style. Alright, so this guy's taking a really long time to beat, and I think it might be because you can see another element in the familiars. Oh shit, I should switch real quick, just so I can heal. Let's go ahead and use some Watt Bread. Actually, let's see what some magic might do to it. Thank you. And actually, I'm pretty sure it's Mr. Drippy handing us these health drops, but I could be wrong. That's more like let's find. I just want to see what fire magic does, since this guy is a cactus. Or at least it looks like a cactus. Actually, I originally thought it looked like a bunch of bananas with green bananas as a body and ripe bananas as feet. That's kind of an absurd assumption, I guess. Got more chocolate! But I mean, I totally recommend this game, like, 100%. I think it's really, 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 really good. And, like, on top of it being a good game, it's a beautiful game. I mean, the art style is fantastic. The open world's great. Enemy design, character design. The dialogue is really, really good, too. As you might imagine. Like, I know level 5. I don't remember who came up with the actual story behind the game. But I know level 5 was involved. Hot Huff. Well, they didn't do that much damage. But they just lowered his defense, so I should probably switch him out. Now, let's let him finish off Bonehead. I mean, there's really no reason to interrupt his attack. Actually, it'd be smart for him to keep using him because... See, like I was trying to say, like, if you look at the picture of the characters, like, up in the top right, they have, like, similar emblems, and that normally means that they do more damage. I haven't really fully figured it out yet, to be honest. Let's see, Ice probably isn't going to do very much damage on him, and neither is Fire. We could try it anyway, I guess. Let's try Ice. Because, you know, in some games, they don't have water. Oh, no, that did a lot of damage. So this game must not have water magic. Or it just works the same way. Because, I mean, logically, I mean, yes, Fire does melt Ice, but Ice also becomes water, and would there, in fact, put out the Fire? I don't know. So yeah, this game does have elemental attributes in the game, which it should, obviously. But I give this game a play, obviously. This is like one of the best games I've played in a long, long time, especially after playing Paper Mario Sticker Star. Like, it's so nice to be playing like a legitimate RPG again. Like, I was so disappointed by Paper Mario Sticker Star because all the Paper Mario games have always had, well, with the exception of Super Paper Mario, which is my least favorite one, have always had a really good RPG element to them, and that's because a lot of the people who developed them also helped develop Super Mario RPG, which was developed by Square Enix, and they've always been really, really good at making good RPG games, and unfortunately this most recent one was terrible. I mean, I didn't even have an issue with the sticker play. My issue more stemmed from the lack of experience points and leveling up and the really cheap way of, like, getting stronger just being, oh, you find HP upgrades every now and then. Like, I absolutely hated that. This guy's doing a lot of damage to us, by the way. I should switch. I'm being stubborn. Oh, God! Oh, God! Oh, God! Oh, God! Oh, God! No! Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, no! Oh, no! No! Okay, switch, please. Switch before he attacks. Okay, God. Right, get away from me! Oh no! Oh no! Oh shit! I'm in a lot of trouble now. No, I don't want to switch. I don't! Damn it! I couldn't eat the bread fast enough. I should have switched. I was being stubborn. Like I said, I'm still not used to, like, the hardcore RPG style game. I don't know where they're gonna put us either. Damn it. Alright. Well, I really wanted to show... I wonder if there's a way where I can watch cutscenes, because I really did want to show... I wanted to show some of the animation really bad, because I think it looks really, really good. That'd be cool if there was, like, a theater mode. Unless maybe there is a theater mode, and it's just something you unlock later in the game. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't played for 10 hours, by the way. That's inaccurate. I mean, this review... I mean, I know I call them reviews because they are basically, like, gameplay review videos. But I really want to show the animation, but I have no idea when it's going to come. I mean, I'm pretty sure the next time I'll see the animation is when I get to where I'm supposed to go. And I guess I could just cut out me walking through the desert. but I really want to do that. You know, these are kind of supposed to be unedited gameplay videos. Let's just try and avoid fights for now. Which, like I said, I don't like doing because then you end up not being leveled up like you should be. But when I'm done recording this video, I'll probably come in... No! Yeah, we gotta fight. I'll probably come back out and grind out here. Grinding.
Come on!
Already know. Alright, I want to take out this cactus man real quick. Actually, I might as well take them both out with Oliver. I'm in the outskirts of being able to escape. Ah! I did not do as much damage. Well, actually, it did a lot of damage. I didn't mean to do that. No. We're not going to use fire magic on a fucking sun. There we go. Also, as it seemed, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it could be different when I get farther in the game, but I kind of doubt whether or not, like, one of the most standard things that RPGs like to do is they like to just recycle enemies, but, like, change the color of them and make them a little bit stronger, or add, like, elemental things to them. I'm going to just go ahead and use actual attack here, because, oh, nope, I was wrong. See, like I said, Oliver's main attack does, like, no damage at all, but at the same time, sometimes it's better just to use it than risk getting hit. What was I gonna say? Oh, but I'm pretty sure, like, just the way it seems right now, even, I don't feel that this game is gonna cheapen it like that. I feel like it's actually gonna have, like, original enemies in, like, every area of the game. Also, you see a lot of these higher up areas. It may seem like, oh, how am I ever gonna get up there? Well, when you get farther in the game, as far as, like, the trailer showed, you do end up, like, riding on a dragon to get around. And I'm sure there's, like, vehicles at some point in typical overworld style RPG, or in typical RPG style overworld map travel. That's what I wanted to say. Alright, so it looks like we're going to Agrabah here. And I don't know if that was necessarily racist in saying, but I feel like it might have been, might be able to be considered racist. So let's just go in here in hopes of an animated sequence. Or at least some more voice acting, because you got to hear very little voice acting. Which is disappointing, because the voice acting's so good. So not quite animated. The cel-shaded graphic style, though, is perfect for, like, 3D anime. I guess is the way I'd say that. Cel-shaded graphics are awesome.
Here we are, Alma Moon. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm. It's different from Ding Dong Dell, huh?
Well, of course it flipping is. It's slap bang in the middle of the desert for a start.
Mmm. What's that delicious smell?
That's the babanas, innit? Babanas are what Alma Moon's famous for, see? You never eaten a fruit like it. Gorgeous they are. Tell you what, I'm starving. Fancy a babana split?
Really? They're that good, huh? Wow.
Too flippin' right they are. This place was built on the babana trade. There's tasty fruit.
Okay, let's try some.
Before we go babanas, let's try to find Rashad. You're right, we should ask around and see if anyone knows him. So yeah, you get to hear a little bit more of the way people talk in this game. Excuse me, sir, do you know where I can find the great sage Rashad? The great sage Rashad? It's a long time since he was called by that name. These days, you would be better to ask after Rashad, seller of babanas. Sells babanas? You mean he's not a sage anymore? But getting him to teach me about magic was our whole reason for coming here. There's worrying. Still, we were after a babana split anyway. Secret item in the hole. 10 guilders is the money we have. I love this game. Like, it's funny because I feel like as soon as I end this review, I have to stop playing. The reason this review is so long, A, because I want to make sure I show like every element of the game, and B, because I really don't want to stop playing the game, and I'll have to stop to edit if I do. Damn it.
Excuse me, are you Mr. Rashad?
Yes, I am.
Mr. Rashad, sir, I need you to teach me magic. I need you to teach me the most powerful spells there are, so I can defeat Shadar.
Defeat Shadar? You?
Yes, sir.
Your journey has been wasted. I no longer practice the magic arts.
Huh? But why not? I thought you were one of the 4 great sages who knows everything there is to know about magic.
It matters not what I was. I use magic no more.
Is she... What do you want? Who are you? Jeepers.
The poor thing's broken-hearted, looks like.
Shudar stole a piece of her heart. It was my fault. I defied him, and to punish me, he did this. That is why I fight no longer. I cannot risk my child's life. I will not. We must accept our fate and live out our days in peace.
Mr. Rashad, sir, you're wrong. She wouldn't want this. She's not in pain because a piece of her heart was stolen. It's because you gave up fighting. Because you gave up on everything. That's why she's in pain.
You are sure of this?
Yes, I am.
I see. I see now that you would say anything to enlist my aid. Begone! Leave us in peace.
You're making a mistake. I wasn't trying to.
That was, see, like, there's such good dialogue in this game. Like,
Well,
that's
he wasn't wrong.
really
It
smart.
looks like
writing.
Shadar's stolen a part of the poor dab's heart.
Then we have to help her. We have to make her heart whole again.
Nah, looks like, I said. This is different.
Huh?
Her heart's not just broken, it's closed.
Clothes? What does that mean?
It's like this, see? She's not just had a part of her heart stolen, she's closed it up tight too, to keep the rest safe like. So, before we can think about replacing what's missing, we'll have to open it back up again, innit?
And how do we do that?
We go to your world. If we find whoever she's connected to by there, we can work out what's going on with her by here. So, we head over your way and find her soulmate.
All right, let's do it.
Right-o, back to your world it is.
All right, cool. So this is actually something else I wouldn't mind showing. Basically the idea of going back to your own world. So going to your own world is the gateway magic spell. If we go ahead and use it, we will go back to our world. And actually, I know exactly, that character is a main character back in our world. I know exactly who it is. Or at least I think I do. I'm almost positive I do. But Mr. Drippy, like, as you can tell from a lot of these dialogues, I mean, he's just a hilarious, he's an awesome, awesome character. Probably one of the best parts of this game. Ollie boy, it's all about spotting the similarities. Oh, like the last time I had to do this, girls, I don't really talk to girls. I mainly talk to Phil. Crikey, well that's no good, is it? How are we gonna do this then? I'm sure there's somebody she reminds me of. Can't quite put your finger on it, is it? Never mind. Its brain work won't work. Legwork will. Let's go for a stroll around town and see if we can spot Esther's soulmate that way, shall we? Okay, Mr. Drippy, let's go find that girl. See, like what I was saying is, in this game, it's a fixed camera. This is the only angle I get. And I don't think that was a problem of, like, I don't think that was, like, a limitation, obviously, because they created this huge, giant world. I think it's more an aesthetic choice where, you know, in this other world, it's beautiful and vast, and you can look at everything. But in this one, it's like, this is what you see, this is what you get. Now, I don't know. That maybe I'm just overthinking it, but I also think it's pretty obvious. But yeah, that's what I think. But the other time I had to do this is something you have to do every now and then in the game. The other time I did this was when the king goes missing, the cat king. So we had to find his real cat counterpart, like the cat that's in our world that looks similar. So it's kind of funny. I thought it was interesting. So the game is really cool about showing you where to go, but if you don't want to know where to go, you can actually hide the map, I believe. Let's see, how did I do that last time? Or maybe you can't when you're actually doing a mission. Yeah, I guess I'm wrong. When you're just normally playing the game. But this game, it like guides you right where you're supposed to go. Which some people might think it's too easy. Some people might think it's... Because I know like classic RPG was like, find the kingdom. And like you could wander into like a kingdom you're not supposed to go to for another like 10 hours. There she is. Oh, that's her, Mr. Drippy. Flipping heck, oldie boy. Why did you think of her straight away? She's a spitting image of her man. Huh? Of who? Who'd you flippin' think? The blockhead. The great sage's daughter. I just love how Oliver's kind of dumb. Because he's a kid, you know? He's a young kid, so he's not that smart. And then, like, Drippy's, like, this older, kind of asshole-ish guy who's like, are you fucking stupid? Like, how do you not know? And that's kind of an interesting play on the RPG genre, how it's like, you either have these characters who are completely daft, or you have these characters who are, like, 8 years old and like geniuses just because like they go through some stuff. I think it's kind of cool anyway. So I'm assuming after this, this girl actually becomes a party member in the game. After this scene, I'll end the video. It's not good. No one's answering. Is something the matter, dear? There's nobody home, you know. I need to speak to the girl who lives here. You're a friend of Myrtle's? Oh, you poor dear. You must be awfully worried about her. Huh? Oh my, you haven't heard? Well, just between you and I, things have been going on haven't been going so well for Myrtle's family lately. How come? Her father works every hour of every single day. Nothing but work, work, work. He's never at home anymore. Such a shame. Rusty was always such a devoted father. But something has happened to him. He's changed. I hear him shouting at them through the walls. I don't know how poor Betty copes, let alone young Myrtle. Such a shame. Betty is... That's right, dear. She's Rusty's wife, and she's every bit as devoted to him as ours were. Why only this morning? Okay, I don't really need to read through the... This is kind of interesting, though. Like, this is some really deep stuff. Like, realistic family drama stuff. Crikey, sounds like things are none too rosy in the Cartwright home. Mr. Drippy, we can't leave her like that. We have to help her. We have to help Myrtle. It's easier said than done, Ollie boy. She's not coming out for a chat. Okay, so let's... I just want to get to one last cutscene. Oh, they're breaking it. He said the reason is enough to justify a breaking and entry. Alright guys, I'm actually going to end this for now. I don't want to show like everything in the game. It's basically the way I'm going. I hope you guys enjoyed this. As I said, I gave this game a total play. I think this game is fantastic. I think it's really, really, really good. And I hope you enjoyed this look at of it. And if you have any questions, go ahead and comment below. I'll be answering any questions you have if you just comment and ask them. But thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. I'm Repainting Gamer. Please like this video, favorite this video, comment this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Do ever got to do share love. And if you have any games you want to see me do reviews on in the upcoming future, let me know in the comments below. Thank you all so much for watching.